Happy Tuesday to all of you. How are you doing? I am feeling extremely conflicted right now. So we know all of the policy procedures and the rapid signing of documents and things that Trump has done today, over 200 of them. But one thing happened that has me conflicted. And I have to go back to what would the words say. They had that tech meeting for several hours today. And when they were finished, Tech Giant came out straight out the rip and said they're using AI. The AI can test your blood, identify the cancer, and give you a vaccine against it. They're talking about ending cancer. Cancer. I can't tell you how many loved ones I've lost to cancer. I lost my mom to cancer. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And the idea that all this money he has allocated and dumped specifically for this, he's giving them the money. All of the money that he's provided for this will, in fact, save so many lives, save so many families from pain of grief and mourning or watching your loved ones suffer with cancer. If you've never watched anyone live with cancer and what they go through, you don't understand what I'm talking about. But let me help you understand. The cancer is virtually stronger than anything on this planet. What they have to give people to manage living with, transitioning with, palliative care, hospice care with cancer, that's stuff at a totally different tier of medications. And to hear that they have found something that operates on a nanomolecular level. Did you hear what I just said? Nanomolecular level, using science and tech, will identify this in people's blood and heal cancer. Now, I'm not one to get off the tracks and raving and excited about it, but I'm conflicted right now. Because if this is true, he's saying that during his term, he will finally cure cancer. I don't know how many posts I've seen, F cancer, cancer sucks, how many people I know lost loved ones to cancer, and how many people I know who are walking around afraid they may have cancer because it's genetic, it's hereditary. It's hereditary. How many women won't have to have their have mastectomies? How many people won't have to deal with colon cancer, prostate cancer, stomach cancer, throat cancer, I mean, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, um, and the list goes on and on and on and on, lung cancer, and they could be healed. And the thing is, for me, I'm already thinking about there may be something nefarious hidden behind it, right? Because it just seems so otherworldly good that a part of my brain thinking, that there may be some nefarious, reasoning in there somewhere, right? But what that would be and what that would look like depends, right? I just wonder how many will not accept the treatment because of fear, and then they're still going to lose their loved ones. They don't have to get the treatment if they don't want to. I mean, nowadays, you have people go in for procedures. They literally swallow the camera. The camera go all through their entire body, and the doctor able to see it. You get what I'm saying? They're science and tech, they've merged seamlessly. So this isn't a far off reach for those familiar with medicine and what's really going on and been keeping up with medicine and tech. They've been running parallel to each other for years and years and years. Um, I'm conflicted. I think I'm more excited about the possibility of lives being saved, children with cancer being saved. Um, that's the main thing for me. You know, I don't care for him particularly, and I have my thoughts about him, but I notice so far what he's doing, those aren't his ideas. Those are not his words coming out of his mouth. They're not. No, they're not. And someone like him, he can't be trained that well. There's someone else running the show. And like I told y'all, Elon Musk running this, all of it. I've never seen SpaceX throw up so many darn uh, ships like they've done within the past 48 hours. They're back to back. They running the space. They are running to space faster within the past 48 hours. At any rate, um, I'm excited for families. That doesn't change the horrendous acts of xenophobia, racism, bigotry that, these laws and bills are sitting on as far as illegal immigrants and those who are considered citizens if they were born here. But on the other hand, I understand which demographic he's talking about. You have women who are left in the middle of the desert. Like, I think it would be good for people to really do a full blown 10-day documentary of what is really going on and what they really find down there in Paso when it comes to people trying to come into the country. It is nothing pretty. It is horrendous. It is horrendous. I mean, it's sick, the stuff people do just to get them over here. They leave them to die. Plenty of them die. That's no exaggeration. They die out there and they don't care. You can literally see the vultures swarming. Literally. You have people who, once they get through, they're not familiar with where to go at and how our streets and highways are made. And on that highway, the big one that does the loop, that one, people are always constantly getting hit on that highway. Constantly. Running. They're running on highways in the middle of the night and it's dark. Getting hit, getting killed, leaving kids in the middle of the desert, leaving pregnant women in the middle of the desert, and it's that kind of stuff that we have to find a better way to help people become citizens in this country. That's how I feel about it. Not at the expense of lives and people being put out there. And I do have some concern that they would go back to the 1940 era, like concentration camps they did with the Japanese here in the States many, many, many years ago. And I have concern that what he proposed and said today, that is what it will turn into. It's one thing what you say you want done. The danger, it is the person who implements that idea. He's not going to come up with it. He's going to okay it. He's going to allocate funding for it. But he isn't going to be the one to sit down and devise the plan. He told the end point, the end game of what he wants. He didn't tell you how it would be done. He just told you the key markers or benchmarks of what he want done in order for it to be deemed a success to him. That goes back to people within federal agencies. They're going to sit down and decide exactly how that's going to be carried out and what that will look like. Would it be possibly back in these detention centers, building these makeshift camps and stuff like that? Someone else comes up with that, right? And that's the scary thing about it. It's not the figurehead himself. It's those within these different. Hold on one second. Oh my God. Oh my God, okay. It's those within different, sectors and everything, and within these different departments, you know. Oh, God bless her. God bless her. Okay, I'm sorry. But I mean, those are the ones we have to worry about, those within those different agencies. We have people think of some pretty complex things. We have people, I wouldn't be surprised if he activated FEMA funding to do it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't, but I can totally see it becoming makeshift camps and all kinds of stuff popping up because they want to try to get rid of the undocumented, citizens. And then there's the other side of that where I can tell you one in particular, the only one that I know about for certain, and that happened some years ago. It's been almost 20 years ago. So there was an undocumented citizen driving a red Dodge Caravan van. He was driving it. And while driving it, he killed an entire family coming from church because he was drinking and driving with no license. He had been stopped previously. They couldn't find him before. He would go, they couldn't find him. And then he'll pop back up with another vehicle. They find him again. Somehow he get out again. They're overcrowded. They got to let him out. They let him out. And that last time they let him out, he killed an entire family of 5 because he was drunk driving. They weren't able to find him. No trial, no nothing. Just went back across the border about his life or another state, possibly. And that's the only thing that I have a problem with for our illegal, undocumented citizens. We have no way of tracking you and holding you accountable if you do harm to someone in this country. That's the thing. If you want to be here, you have to be able to adhere to the laws that are here. And if you don't adhere to those laws, just like every other citizen, you should be held to those laws and you should be able to accept consequences if you want to accept the benefits of being here. That's just how I feel about it. And that's knowing about a family of 5 being killed. He hit that car so hard, the whole front of the car set on fire. That's how hard, how much force he hit them with. The car literally, it was like, I mean, there's no words for what you saw when you rolled past that accident site. There's nothing I can tell you that. I mean, the car looked like a raisin. I mean, that many wrinkles, dents, and everything else in it. You know, I'm just saying. But the other thing is Nelly. Everybody all upset with Nelly, and he shouldn't have been dotty dotty dot. Listen, honey, if you are not banning, boycotting, throwing shots, making comments about people, rapping about unaliving people, robbing, and all kinds of stuff, and domestic violence and everything else, and terrorizing neighborhoods, I don't want to hear anything from you, honey. I said what I said and I meant what I said. You'll drive right to your job listening about basically you being a criminal and saying you needed to get motivated. So you get motivated with the criminal mentality. So therefore you're a consumer. Therefore you're part of the problem. And I think that's a far bigger problem than Nelly performing because the CEOs of the people you support, guess what? They dump millions. They don't sing for him or perform for him, but they definitely load up his campaign to ensure that he got elected. We have to be smarter. I mean, as a black people, come on now, we have to do better. Yeah, we're not playing the poking bean game. Not in 2025, we're not. No. Mm-mm. Got me messed up. I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl at all, honey. No. Last one is about Kierra Sheard. Um, Kelly. Listen, I'm well aware that we're adults and having healthy sex lives are part of the adult journey, and having healthy sex lives as married couples is just part of the journey. There is nothing wrong with it. I don't knock nobody for it. I just believe that it's just part of what comes with being grown, right? But there is no reason for making crass, vulgar statements about your guts, your uterus, your womb. That's that's trashy. To even speak about your own body that way, that's trashy. It's not funny. It's not being relatable. It's skankish. It's whorish. It's streetish. It's nasty. I can see in the house making that joke with your husband. That's one thing. Or making that joke with close girlfriends. That's one thing. The whole family being in your guts. I mean, really? I mean, let's just be for real for a minute. Finally, you people, I said again, you're not saved. You just benefit from having parents associated with Christianity. You're just Christian music entertainers. There's nothing holy, couth, or anything, no, dignified about you. You're no different than Sexy Red. Basically, she shows up being the Sexy Red of Koji. That's how she's communicating. That's something Sexy Red would say. Yes, it's gross. And don't expect no pass for it. Yeah, just because people don't discuss it don't mean they're not having it. The thing is, they have dignity. They have self-respect. Ugh. They have honor for themselves and their bodies. Yeah. And ain't no last name gonna clear up that stain of trashiness. None. None. Bishop, so it's not gonna, that's trashy. That's some skank stuff right there. That's some old that's how foot draggers communicate. That's how flatbacking hoes communicate. That's trash. Now, if you don't like being viewed in a specific way, you need to watch how you conduct yourself and how you describe yourself. Yeah, it's not what people call you, it's what you're answering to. And you're out here sending yourself a shout out as you're a dragger. You're a funky bed wench foot dragger. You're a hoe. You have no respect for your body. You'll talk about it like it ain't nothing, so everybody else can too, and that's your fault. I said what I said. Y'all have a good night.